We all have dreams of the kind of person that we desire to become. I'm sure you've thought about it at some point, like, oh, I want to be like this person, I want to be like that person, or I want to be this type of person. We all have that ideal person that we always feel like, oh, I want to become like this. I want to be this kind of woman. However, you may find yourself in a situation where you see that who I am now conflicts with that person that I desire to be. Or you may find yourself in a situation whereby the people you're exposed to, the situations around you, are sort of trying to influence you and mold you into somebody else who is opposite of what you really desire to be. And then it could be the nature of your job. It could be the kind of people that are around you and all of that. You may find out that, oh, if your job is emotionally demanding, you may find out that you're becoming someone who is mean, callous, sort of stony-hearted, as opposed to probably the kind-hearted person, the people developer kind of person that you've always desired to be. Hello there, my name is Tolu Akinyemi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this platform, I share tips and encouraging videos to encourage women to rise above limiting beliefs, limiting situations and circumstances, or anything that just wants to keep you from being who God created you to be. So this channel is for women basically. I share relationship and marriage, and also there's a show that I have every week. It's called Ladies Pep Talk, where I share conversations that ladies should have with themselves on a regular basis. And today, I'm going to be talking about a topic that is dear to my heart because of my personal experiences and things that I've observed amongst people around me, especially women. It's titled, Who Are You Becoming? I'm calling your attention today to assess the woman that you are becoming in this journey of life. We never get to a point where we fully become this person, because becoming is a journey. Who you are right now, who you desire to be, is a journey. As you journey through life, you go through different experiences, different situations, different circumstances, different kind of jobs. They influence you in so many ways, and you never get to a point where you fully become. Just yesterday, I was speaking to an elderly woman, a grandmother, and she was saying, oh, I have this in my heart to do, I have that in my heart to do. And I was like, oh. She's an elderly woman, but she still has things she wants to do. She still has the kind of person she wants to be known for. She still has this concept of who she wants to be. And I'm like, wow. So there's never really an end to becoming. And the truth is, there will never be an end until you leave the surface of this earth. There will never be an end, because there's always something to look forward to. There's always who you want to be. And that's why I'm calling your attention to start paying attention to who you are becoming right now. Sometimes you hear people say, for me, I've heard people say, oh, I give you 1 year on this job, you'll soon start swearing. Or you hear people say things like, I don't care anymore. When I just started maybe years ago, I was kind, I was this, I was that, but now I don't care anymore. And they're like, oh, okay. Is this really who I want to be? Is this how I want to be perceived? Or is this who I really, does it resonate with who I really want to be on my inside? It's a very important question that we need to ask ourselves. How do we get to a point where we don't lose sight of who we want to become and deviate to becoming something else, especially negative? How do we ensure? I'm sure a lot of people didn't start out wanting to be Mrs. Trenchbull, or start out wanting to be someone who people run away from. You know, a lot of people will not start out that way, but little things as we journey through life, as we experience people and all of that, they begin to mold us into something. But is that something? Is that somebody who you really desire to be? Is it what you really want? It's a very important question, and it requires being intentional, because if you're not intentional about who you are becoming, you just realize that you will find yourself anywhere. You will do anything. But let's not forget that we are light We are children of God, and God created us to shine our light. Our light is supposed to come into a dark space. Doesn't make us dim, but rather we shine our light. We are children of God. We are in a world that is dark. We are in a world that has their way of doing things. We are the different ones. We are coming in. We still have to learn to live and dwell amongst people. We still have to learn to relate to people. We still have to learn to do things, but above all, model Christ. Above all, shine our light. Above all, be that person they can say, oh no, Tolu will not do that. No, Tolu won't do that. Why? Because I am light. Why? Because you are light. How do you ensure that you don't lose sight of that person that you really desire to become? But let's clarify one thing first. Who do you want to become? Who are you becoming on this journey? Who do you want to become? Who are you becoming? It's worth paying attention to. Let's remember that Jesus, our Savior, Jesus experienced betrayals, experienced lots of things, but he still remained compassionate. He still remained the people builder with all that he faced. Now imagine, Jesus could actually, he knows the thoughts of people. Before they say it, imagine if you could tell people's thoughts, if you could hear what they are thinking. That would be very funny because the world is a very shady place. People, especially adults, we are used to covering up things, and you think one thing, you see another thing. Imagine if you could hear people's thoughts about you. Would you still be that kind person when you hear, hey, this person could think like this about me? Thank God that we don't really know the exact things some people think about us. Thank God for that. But imagine that. Would you still be kind? Jesus is a perfect model and perfect example for someone who stood for who he was, stood for what he represented, regardless of his circumstance, regardless of the people that surrounded him. He still didn't change. So I will share some tips that would help us not to lose sight of who it is that we are becoming. The first is work on understanding and clarifying your ideal person. It's important that you know who it is you desire to be. And you may think you don't know because you're not paying enough attention to the conversations in your heart. You're not paying enough attention to the things that you really desire. You're not paying enough attention to yourself. You have to start paying attention. How can I gain clarity of my ideal self? You need to sit down with yourself, because we must be students of ourselves. I must learn to study and observe myself, recognize my patterns, recognize the things that really make me alive, the things I want, the things I desire. Recognize what my heart is truly saying, the true intents of my heart. Sit down with yourself and ask yourself some questions, and then provide answers to. If you sit down well enough, long enough with yourself, you'll find the answers. One of the questions I ask is, who do I truly desire to become? Another is, what attributes do I want to possess? When people talk about me, would they say, oh, she's this, she's that? What kind of attributes do I want to possess? And then, are there people that you admire? What is it about them that you like? What is it about them? What is it they do that you like? Are there people like that? Why not sit down and identify those things? Oh, I like this one. Why? Why do you like her? What is it that you admire about this person? She's very soft-spoken. I've never found her to be, to just react to situations. How is she doing it? How is she remaining calm in the face of situations? So what are those attributes? When I die, that's another question. What do I want people to say about me? whether we like it or not. The end will come someday, because this is not our permanent home. But when the end comes, what do I want people to say about me? What do I want to be said about me? What do I want to be known for? These are the kind of questions that you sit down with yourself and ask. It helps you to clarify that, okay, this is the kind of person I want to become. And if you find out that, oh, what I'm going through, this experience might try to mold me into something else. What lessons can I learn from my situation and circumstance? And how can I still keep my focus? I hope you understand and you're following me. That's the first step. Sit with yourself to understand and clarify your ideal person. The next is to make a commitment to yourself. Make a commitment to keep reinventing yourself. I said earlier, there's never an end to becoming. I remember I spoke about a grandma who still had desires of who she was going to become. There's never an end to becoming. So we must keep reinventing ourselves. The younger version of you, the now version of you, the version of you that will be in the next 5 years. Let us keep reinventing ourselves till you become. Because I wrote here that we are all on a journey to becoming. We will never get to a point where we fully become until we leave this earth. So, keep reinventing yourself. If you want to reinvent yourself, like I said earlier, you have to be a student of yourself. Learn about you. Learn about yourself. Who am I? Why do I respond to things like this? Why am I like this? What are the things I desire to do? You have to be a student of yourself and keep reinventing yourself, especially when you say you are prone to certain things. Start reinventing yourself. What I'm trying to do is to spark up conversations that you should have with yourself. That's why it's called Ladies Pep Talk. Conversations you should have with yourself on a regular basis. And the third thing here is focus. Don't lose sight of that woman. Don't lose sight of that woman you want to become. Jesus came to this earth. Jesus had a goal and he was focused on it. His goal was the business of the Father. He was focused on it. He had lots and lots and lots of experiences all through his life on earth. But the goal was his focus. That was what he still kept his eyes on. What is your focus? Who is that woman you want to become? Have you lost sight of her? You have to shift your focus back. Shift your focus back. Bring that picture back to yourself. The mental image. You can even take a picture of yourself dressed as that woman. Post it somewhere you can see regularly. Post the attributes that you want to see. Post it in places where you can see regularly, so that as you are moving around, there's a mental picture because you are seeing it. There's a mental picture there. You are seeing it. Don't lose sight of that dream, of that vision of the woman. Don't lose sight of it. Focus. Focus. And then the next thing is, say no to shaming yourself. Say no to shaming yourself. No. A lot of times we'll find that we make mistakes, and that's what makes us human. I was talking earlier that maybe you find yourself in a situation where maybe you're on a job that's emotionally demanding and you see that you're becoming cold and everything, or maybe you reacted in a way that you didn't want to react. Don't shame yourself for it, because you're on a journey of becoming, and on that journey there are so many lessons to learn. So if you see that you are tripped up somewhere, don't shame yourself. There's no need to feel guilty. Learn the lesson. What happened? How did I react? How should I have reacted? Next time, what will I do to prevent myself from reacting this way? It's very important. Don't shame yourself. It's not worth it. When you start shaming yourself, you see that it's almost like you're going down a pit. It's like a spiral and you keep going down. It will take longer for you to pull yourself out of that place. So please, say no to shaming yourself. Our flaws, those are the things that makes us human. Our weaknesses, they make us human. And we must learn how to live with them. We must learn how to ensure that we are not limited by them. Okay? Say no to shaming yourself. Learn to embrace your humanity. It can be difficult when we make mistakes, but we must learn to embrace that part of us. Mistakes are a part of life. If you're not making mistakes, your growth is questionable because it looks like you're not doing anything. So embrace them, embrace your mistakes. And the last thing I'm going to just talk about is that's the 5th point. Constant, honest appraisals of yourself. Honest, constant appraisals. You have to learn to sit with yourself. How am I doing? And be very honest, because it's not a conversation between you and your boss. It's not a conversation between you and somebody else. It's a conversation with myself. It's a conversation with yourself. How am I doing? How do I feel? Do I feel like I'm walking towards this person? Do I feel like, am I doing my best? Appraise yourself. In this situation, I have these people around me. Have I been influenced in another way? Am I still on that journey to becoming this person? And the truth is, in your heart, there are answers. The Bible says, counsel in the heart of man is like deep waters. The man of understanding will draw it out. There are lots of answers, but we must learn to sit down with ourselves. I hope that the few things I've said today, you would go back, sit down with yourself, call a conference meeting, and ask yourself, who am I becoming? And don't forget the 5 tips I shared. Work on understanding and clarifying who you're becoming. Make a commitment to constantly reinvent yourself. And then focus. Say no to shaming yourself, especially when you make mistakes. And the last one, constant and honest appraisals of yourself. All right then. Bye. See you next time. Bye for now.